Hello YouTube and welcome back to Let's Play Bloons BTD5 Deluxe Edition. I had a bit of a delayed start because I wasn't really paying attention. But anyways, so I'm going back to Fraps for this episode just because it's a little bit easier in some ways and I'm trying to record this a little bit quicker. So anyways, let's get right into this. This level was pretty interesting. And I'm going to start off with a Monkey Buccaneer, because they're pretty good, and I just remember that it's going in reverse, so that'll be interesting. Alright, so the way this track works, in case you don't know, is that this conveyor belt is where you can place your tracks, or not your tracks, your towers or monkeys, and then this pool you can place a getting my words mixed up, put a Buccaneer in, and of course once the round ends, then not treadmill, what's it called? I just said it, conveyor belt, that's what it is. The conveyor belt will start moving once the round ends, and there's really not a lot of room to place down a tower. You can place it on the conveyor belt, and that's fine, and you can place it sort of in between these boxes, but there's a lot of room where you can't place your monkey. So it kind of requires some good planning on that part. What I like about putting the Buccaneer here in the water is that then the conveyor belt doesn't move the monkeys because it's not on the conveyor belt. So another thing is the sniper monkey is pretty good because then he's not really affected by where he's placed. And this probably wasn't a very good place for the Buccaneer. So after this round, I'm actually going to move him over here, and right about there. Alright, that way, when the balloons come in around this side, it's more of a straight line or better angle rather than right here at the corner. But I'm still not entirely sure how well that'll work, so we'll just have to wait and see. I'm also thinking of putting a tack shooter, but I kind of don't want to put them because they don't really have or they do have a pretty low ceiling on how effective they are. Like, they can't really be upgraded to be too powerful, so I'm kind of against using them, but I guess with Monkey Tycoon I could always use them just for the beginning and then sell them later, which kind of works out pretty well, like in my recent playthroughs and all that. Alright, but then of course I do have this Monkey Buccaneer that I'm trying to upgrade to make sure that he's awesome. And of course the tack shooter is also there I would want to put a tack shooter in these two corners just to kind of help speed things up a little bit, because obviously if I have to wait for the balloons to come all the way over there, then it's gonna take a while. Alright, yeah, I'll put it down. Come on. Should be able to find a good spot for this right there. Alright, and of course all those other balloons already went by. I do actually like the tack shooter because I really enjoy its tier 3 left side upgrade, and I read in one of the forums that apparently the tier 3 has more popping power than the tier 4 on the left side, and I think that's because when you upgrade the tack shooter, when it gets to the tier 3, it shoots out 16 spikes and it shoots pretty fast, but then when you get to the tier 4, it's a ring of fire. So with the 16 spikes, if you're up against like a Moab, then you'll have at least 3 or 4 spikes going into the Moab at once, like depending on what angle it's coming in at. But if you have the ring of fire, then it's just one ring at a time. So it's kind of interesting that way, but I'm pretty sure having multiple rings of fire is better than having multiple attack sprayers, I think it's called, the third tier. But still haven't really tested it that much. Alright, and I've never really been too big a fan of the extra range, because it really doesn't need that much range. It's already, you know, good right here. I've never really seen too much of an impact from getting more range. Also, if you did watch the last video, the reason why I'm thinking it might not have like shown up in your sub boxes or something as soon, I guess, is just because I had recorded or I wanted to wait until I recorded and uploaded all of my videos before I made them public, just because I wanted to have those annotations for the Bloons episode ready to be able to, be clicked. I wanted to get those annotations ready before I really released any of the actual videos, just because I really wanted to show off that, oh hey, this format is good for annotations. But if I had uploaded that video first and I made it public, then few people would have seen it, and then there wouldn't have been annotations for it, and it might just look a little weird. But I think the problem with that is because I had it unlisted for a while, and then when I posted it, or like made it public, then it had already been a couple hours since it was uploaded. So I think that kind of like messes with the sub box, or makes it up here farther back or something. So I don't know. Maybe it just needs another day or two to actually like get a few more views, but just seemed a little weird how few views it got. But anyways, obviously I'll be doing this the same way that I usually do. So if you didn't see yesterday's episode, there will hopefully still be a link in the description or an annotation up in the corner. So obviously be sure to check that out. That is kind of an important episode where I'm talking about the new recording setup. So yeah, I'm actually going to keep, should I keep it like the tack sprayer and not a ring of fire? Yeah, I'll go back to upgrading my Buccaneer for right now. So I want to get a destroyer before too long. Alright. And I do wish that I could do this somewhat faster, because I am trying to hurry up with this episode. But obviously it's not too big a deal, and also because there's not much room to place towers down, I don't think I can put a banana farm. Maybe right here, but I don't remember if I've ever actually tried it. Oh yeah, I can put a banana farm there, but I'm actually not going to because it's already round 18, and I'm actually just going to stick with the tack sprayer and Buccaneer strategy. Yeah, I'll just stick with that. Just gonna try to get a few destroyers in here. Maybe 4. I might only be able to fit 3. Yeah, I can fit some. But this is interesting because I'm not really sure how this is gonna turn out in the end. Because this is 1370. That's really cheap in a good way. But let's see. Because now the camo is going to be coming up. I place this down. It's got a pretty good range. Sell that and place it back down in the monkey beacon. So now I saved some money. I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Right there. Alright. Alright, so that saved me a little bit of money. But not very much, obviously. So what I'm going to do with that extra money, I have no idea, because if I sell the monkey village, then that'll give me even more extra money. But I do want to get radar scanner for the tack sprayers, or on the monkey village for the tack sprayers, so that they can actually see some camo balloons. And that was weird. Oh, that's right. While the conveyor belts are moving, your towers can't attack, I think, if I remember correctly. So that's kind of lame, but yeah, that's a thing. They don't usually keep moving for that long, or I don't think they do. So let's see. I guess I should get the ring of fire just so that it can pop lead as well, but I kind of don't want to. But oh well. Just give it a second. Too impatient. But let's see. See, now I'm conflicted on what towers, or what upgrades I should get first. Because I kind of want to get the radar scanner, and I also want to get the destroyer, and then also the ring of fire. Yeah, now I'm going to have to deal with lead. So they're just going to go right by, because my tack sprayer can't get it. The Buccaneer, because it has the Dreadnought upgrade, it is able to pop lead, and oh wow. So that's not good. I'm just going to put a few road spikes. That was probably too much. Yeah, that wasn't that bad, but that's not good, because that means I'm going to have to deal with popping some leads. And let's see. Could just put down another monkey buccaneer. That should help. But I don't know exactly how well that will work. We'll just have to wait and see. And again, I kind of want to sell this tack sprayer. No, I'll leave it. So I've got these two buccaneers that they might do okay. They're probably going to leak a couple. But yeah, they do okay. Alright. I don't know what my next step should be. I kind of want to just sell this tack sprayer. I'll build another one. That's pretty much the opposite of selling one. Alright. So that should help out, just thinning the load for the Buccaneers. Probably not going to give them the, whatchamacallit, the radar scanner, or at least not yet, because I want to focus more on the Buccaneers, because they're a little bit more important. And I don't know why I'm having such a hard time thinking about what strategy to use. Alright, so now it's time for a bunch of camo. Come on. Right there. I'm always trying to get it like as close to the edge as I can so I can fit in as many as I can. And I could probably be using some other towers, but like some other tower types. But I think these should be good. The tack sprayer to help thin out the herd, like I said earlier, and then the Buccaneers to actually finish the job. So I should be getting Destroyer rather than just upgrading multiple. But then I always get really impatient waiting for a single upgrade, and I just have to buy other things that are cheaper. Which is why having the banana farm is helpful, because then you're getting a lot of money quicker, so that I don't have to wait so long to get the higher up upgrades. And of course, the later it gets in the game, or in the level, the more money you're going to be making because there's more balloons and all that. Alright, so again, I'm going to build the Buccaneer when I should just wait for the Destroyer. I can try to fit 6 in here. I might be able to fit 9, but probably not. Maybe 7 or 8. But oh well. Plus, having multiple Buccaneers rather than one Destroyer could be helpful, because then, just because of the, what's it called, like, it's still basically 4 times the attack rate, which is actually pretty interesting, because it's also 4 times the grape shot attack rate, and the Destroyer only upgrades the actual cannonball and not the grape shot. Now that was pretty bad because the tack shooters couldn't get through the lead layer, so I'm actually going to give it the Ring of Fire now, just to help it out with the lead. And now I'm thinking that I should go with the ice tower as an extra backup support, just to slow down the balloons a little more. So yeah, and it's always nice to make sure that you have the Ring of Fire before you put down an ice tower near these tack sprayers, because when they're frozen, the tack sprayer can't actually pop them, but when you get the Ring of Fire, then they can. So that's helpful. And another thing, I do like how well the tack sprayers get rid of the normal waves of balloons, but they're not really that good against, say, a Moab or a BFB, which is why I should be getting the Destroyer. I should be patient enough to just wait for the Destroyer, like this one. So hopefully I'll be waiting for that, and not just carrying on with my terrible strategy of making multiple Buccaneers. Alright, so obviously I did lose quite a few lives. I only lost about 91 lives, so you would still live with this strategy, you would just only have 9 lives left. So obviously be careful with that. And like I said, hopefully I'm going to be patient enough to get enough money for 2 more destroyers, and then upgrade it to Ring of Fire, and then maybe the Ice Tower. The Ice Tower I'd like to put right in the middle, and then give it the Arctic Wind. That way it slows down all the balloons right here so that they're able to be popped by the Rings of Fire that I'll have. Alright, so now just 1 more destroyer, and then I'll upgrade the Ring of Fire, and then maybe I'll put in another 2 Buccaneers, or another 2 destroyers. Alright, so it's good that this actually breaks the ceramic layer, but it doesn't necessarily pop ceramic balloons, if that makes sense. So it's a pretty good defense in that regard, but then you obviously do need something to back it up. And as you can see, it can pop zebra balloons, and even when they get to the, well no, when they get to the thicker density, then you can't really pop them as well, because the Ring of Fire still does pretty good, but the Tack Sprayer doesn't have as much density poppage, I guess. I'm not sure how you would describe that. It doesn't have as good crowd control, I guess you could say. But the pinks are no problem. The Ring of Fire can almost pop it on its own. So that's good. And maybe I should increase the range, because it's such a small increase, but it is a really cheap upgrade. So yeah, there's that. And I can always, you know, give the Monkey Beacon a try. That would be nice. Oh, that's right, it's round 45. Okay, so... Not entirely confident with the destroyers, being whether or not they're able to get the Moab if the Rings of Fire can't. So this should be interesting, because I know that, oh nice, that one's able to pop it, or able to shoot it. That's not very good. Let's see, that doesn't seem very good at all. Uh-oh, and I don't have enough money for road spikes, but nice. Alright, so that's good that they're able to pop that. That is interesting, because now it's not enough to pop the ceramic layer, and yeah, okay, that's good. Increase the attack speed a little bit more, and I will put down a an ice tower. Try to put it right in the middle. Alright, so that's interesting that now that it's a Ring of Fire, they don't pop through the ceramic layer. And of course the fire has enough range so that none of these stay frozen for very long. So that's not really the point of this ice tower right now. It's not really to freeze them to keep them still, it's more to get the Arctic Wind just to slow them down a little bit more, which should help get through the ceramic layer. Alright, so this is round 48. I know that round 48 and 49 are kind of just long streams of balloons that are a little bit annoying, I guess, just because they take so long. Alright, so just waiting on that money. It's going to take a while, because it's 5,850. It's a pretty expensive upgrade, because it's a pretty effective upgrade. Oh look, and it does help get the ceramic a little bit. That's nice. Almost there. And there we go. Alright. So now the balloons should be moving slower, so that now the Rings of Fire can help get them a little bit better. And that means it's time for another Buccaneer. That will soon become a destroyer. Hopefully a little sooner than this. Oh boy. Alright, so it's able to shoot a little bit to help with that popping. But I'm a little bit more confident about being able to pop this since I was able to pop the other one. And now I've got a little bit of an extra attack power, because now I've got the extra destroyer. So yeah, I should be good with this. Because another good thing about these this strategy, or the Ring of Fire, is that it's not really going to be too limited, because now... Okay, so that's interesting. The actual animation of the towers stops while the conveyor belt is moving, even if they're not on a conveyor belt. So that's something to keep in mind. You should probably try not to start the wave too early, just so that your towers don't get stuck like that when the balloons are actually coming. It'd be nice if they kind of fix that somehow. But anyways, as I was saying, now that I have 6 destroyers, I don't really have to fear any Moabs, because the Ring of Fire and Ice combo seem to be able to pop all the regular balloons, and so I guess really now I just have to worry about any extra Moabs. But also I should get radar scanner, that would be nice. Let's see, what else can I do? I guess I could put in another attack sprayer or two. Or an extra Ring of Fire, I should say. Because that'll help, like I said, with the regular balloons. And because I've already got 6 destroyers right here, that should be good for most of the blimps. Or the Moab class balloons. Because that seems to get rid of them pretty quickly. Alright, so also having the extra Ring of Fire will help a little bit with getting rid of the Moabs, or at least doing a little extra damage to them before they actually get to the destroyers, just to make it a little bit easier for them to pop it. Alright, so I'm just waiting on this Ring of Fire. Probably just right after this. Alright, so I've got 3 Rings of Fire, and of course the Ice Tower looks weird when it slows down. Alright, so this should be good. Yeah, round 55 is always just a bunch of closely packed ceramics, and then of course Moab. So actually I don't think I can place a Ring of Fire right there because there's a box right in the way. So in that case I'll place it down on this side. Try to put it close, because obviously that corner is a good spot for the attack sprayers, and actually I should upgrade the range just to keep it even. And then I'll get started on the Ring of Fire once I get the upgrade, or enough money for the upgrade. This is actually a pretty good strategy. I'm surprised at how well these attack sprayers are doing. Alright. That's pretty cool, because the ice froze through the ceramic layer, so they stayed frozen as long as there was actually ceramic layers on it, rather than just the Ring of Fire popping it after 1 or 2 explosions. That was good. Alright, I could probably fill this area with a few more Rings of Fire, just because I have enough range to get that layer, even if they're a little closer in. But I'd rather start focusing on something else, like a sniper. Yeah, I'll put a sniper in. Set it to strongest, so that it's focusing on the Moab class balloons. Just again to help out with the destroyers, because I know that there will be a time when there's a lot of Moabs, and I don't know how well the destroyers are going to do on those. So the snipers are always nice to help out with the Moabs, because they do a lot of damage to one balloon. Alright, and I probably should have spaced that out a little better so I could place a few more snipers around it. But I suppose that's enough for now. Alright, once I get the Deadly Precision, then it'll be able to pop ceramics in one go, which shall be very helpful. And of course now there's the camo. Whoops, I didn't need to buy the camo detection. These things already have camo detection because of the radar scanner. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Deadly Precision. Even though I think technically the what's it called? The semi-automatic rifle is better as far as popping power, because it pops more layers per second than the actual .50, or Deadly Precision, I should say. Anyways, so this should be interesting. Sniper is obviously helping pop through that BFB, but it does take a while. Alright, so this should be, like I said, interesting. Not sure how well this is going to go, but was okay. I lost 1 life. That's interesting. In that case, I'm gonna put some sniper monkeys on the conveyor belts. And their job will be to help out with the ceramics a little bit from the Moabs and the Moabs themselves. And yeah, we'll see how well this works. And you'll get to see the conveyor belt move the towers and how that will affect the strategy. And I'm actually just going to wait for for the conveyor belts to stop moving before I start the wave, just to be sure that none of my towers are stunned while the balloons come in. Alright, so I'll just get that Bloons Jitsu. That makes it really helpful. Come on. You can do it. And okay, there we go. So that should help with the Moabs and the BFBs, because the BFB was pretty tough. Alright, I could get Viral Frost, and that would be helpful, but it's not really that necessary because, like I said earlier, the point of this ice tower isn't really to freeze the balloons, it's just to slow them down. And this little thing says next round will be bleeping hard. Alright, so that's gonna be the queue, because round 63 there's just a big chunk of ceramics, and the Ninja Monkey's good at helping send those away, and the Rings of Fire and the Ice Tower combo are pretty good on that, so it's actually not much to worry about. I'm doing pretty good. Alright, just gonna throw in another Ninja Monkey right next to it to help out a little bit with that. And then of course gotta wait for the ceramic, not the ceramic, the Bloons Jitsu. Alright. I should not have started it so soon. Boy. Alright, this should be fine. That's just a whole bunch of Moabs, and thankfully those Ninja Monkeys are helping with the popping it before, so that is actually really helpful. Being able to pop it before it gets to the Ring of Fire, so that they can get rid of the ceramics a little better, rather than having to rely on the destroyers. So that's good. Let's see. This is popped 37,776. That's pretty awesome. Compared to these. This is popped 4,000. Yeah, so that's actually like my main popping force right there. Just those two right here. That's pretty good. Alright, so now I've got the double Bloons Jitsu. So that's 40 layers, pretty much, depending on how well those ceramics, or those, why do I keep calling them ceramics? The Bloons Jitsu monkeys do. That's up to 40 layers, pretty much, because of the distribution of pierce and projectile, the pierce to projectile ratio. And oh look, it's round 65. Alright, so that's pretty easy. This should be done quickly. Most of those should be popped, yeah. Alright, so, not all of them, but, oh yeah, all of them were popped before they got to the destroyer, which pretty much ensures that they're gonna win, so that was pretty good. That was a pretty interesting episode, because I didn't really know exactly what I was doing. Alright, so that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.